Good afternoon, Pete. Thanks for taking the time to be with us and chatting to us a little bit about your time as a Jeppe rower, your journey to becoming part of Team Great Britain, and obviously becoming an Olympic oarsman. And then, of course, about our exciting new fundraise initiative, the Jeppe Boats and Blades. Thanks, Pete. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Right, I'm going to get straight into the questions. Pete, we'll start straight away. What does Jeppe, and more specifically Jeppe rowing, mean to you, and how has it impacted your adult life? I'm sure everyone listening would like to hear about your connection to Jeppe.
So I feel that rowing made me feel like I could take on anything. And then I think the thing that was amazing about Jeppe is I remember, obviously, as a junior, you go to a junior camp in October. That was at Orkney. And then you arrive at school in January. And I remember arriving, a little 13-year-old boy, can't believe I'm at the school, amazing. And it was very intimidating, but I didn't feel intimidated because I remember I already knew 30, 40 boys before school had even started. It was amazing. And I would walk around with all my 13-year-old classmates, and we were everyone else was terrified. And the prefect would walk over to me and shake my hand, and they would be like, "Wow, how do you know him?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's a rower." It's like, "He's so tall, he's so big, wow." And it was just the greatest thing ever for me. It felt like I was already part of the school before I'd even put on my uniform. And I think that for me was one of the greatest things, is that the fact that I'd met so many of my fellow rowers 4 months before even school started. And I think that just gave me such a great start to Jeppe, and I loved it. Yeah, it was so good.
And what would you say, sort of going into your adult life now, Jeppe rowing has impacted you in what way?
I think the impact for me that Jeppe gave me is just, it gave me confidence to just take on anything. Like the fact that Jeppe are competing against crews that have more money, better boats, more training facilities, better training facilities, that is irrelevant. That doesn't matter to me. And that never mattered to me then. It's a fact that I'm still in a boat. Am I lining up next to them? Yes. Am I going from A to B? Is it the same distance? Yes. In what world does that mean that they are going to beat me? No way. And I just took that whole aspect of my life into my career as an athlete afterwards. I was one of the smallest senior heavyweight rowers, 90 kilograms and 1 meter 90 centimeters tall. And I pull a 5:59 on the ergo, and I have the slowest ergo in the team. And it doesn't matter. I'll still move a boat faster than most of the other people. And that was the reason why, because Jeppe taught me that. It doesn't matter how small you are. It doesn't matter if you are underfunded, you take it on.
Brilliant. Obviously, we're trying to fix a couple of those things, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Pete, I mean, you're obviously arguably one of our more famous rowers, and you've had the privilege, and you've obviously rowed with great people through the years at Jeppe, but you've had the privilege of representing Team Great Britain, and you went to the Olympics. Tell us a little bit about your journey with Team Great Britain, and obviously your experience at the Olympics, which you know, the Jeppe old boys and the Jeppe community are extremely proud of you, but you can be proud of yourself as well. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
I think the number one thing that I keep on reminding people of with the Olympics is that it is literally every sportsman is there. You've got basketball players to Simone Biles of gymnastics. So you've got short, small, thin, fat. You've got weightlifters that are weighing 140 kilograms. And then you've got long distance marathon runners. So it's just this variety of athletes from massive to tall, and all from different countries as well. And one of the most entertaining things, but what we actually found really did, you had to not get distracted by it, is you would sit in the food hall, and the Rio Olympic Games, the food hall was the biggest man-made tent to date. It was 600 meters long, was stupid. And you could spend a half an hour just walking around choosing what food you want. And by the way, McDonald's sponsors the Olympics as well. So you had Mackie D's on the side, which was quite bad. But the biggest thing is that you would just sit there and you would just people watch. And just the amount of different athletes there that I think was blew me away. And I think the coolest thing about all of that was that you could see what type of athlete was there, and you could see which athletes had already achieved their dream and which athlete was there for another reason. There were some athletes that would come in and they were bright eyes and, oh my God, this is amazing, and they'd be distracted. And for them, their biggest highlight was going to the Olympics. And there were other athletes that you could see in there, get their food, eat out, ready to go, next training session, next race. And those were the athletes that were there for another reason. Those were the athletes to win medals. And I think that was also it was just breathtaking, because you're just like, these are my heroes. These are the guys I grew up wanting to be like. And I'm here now. And I need to remember I'm also here for a reason, not just to go to the Olympics, it's to try and win a medal.
Awesome. And obviously representing Team Great Britain has been a great thing for you, having grown up in South Africa. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I had, both my parents were born in Britain, so I was eligible to row for Great Britain, and I moved over in 2012. For me, that was my career path. I needed to row sculling, 2 blades each, and at that stage South Africa weren't really offering any crew boats in sculling for heavyweight men, and then for Britain I've rowed in the men's quad for the past 8 years, and it's been great. I've loved every minute of it, actually. And then representing your nation, if it's South Africa or Great Britain, when you represent your nation, it is a huge, huge honor. And then at the Olympic Games is just the pinnacle.
And it's been awesome to follow your progress. Obviously, we went to school together, and it's been incredible what you have achieved, and I hope that it keeps going. I know we spoke a little bit about the postponement of the Olympics and that sort of thing, but we really have been watching keenly, and I know so many of the current rowers really do look up to you. But in that case, you really have supported Jeppe. You've been willing to. I got hold of you a little while ago to do a bit of a video for the boys, and I don't think you even hesitated for a second to do it. And of course, most of the people on this platform know as well that you've generously donated some of your more treasured tri-suits, including your Team Great Britain tri-suits, for auction. We've had a great response. How did this come about, and how can people bid for them before the 16th of May closing deadline?
Yeah, no problem. I wanted to give back to Jeppe. I remember when I was at the school, I think I was one of the first senior team to be able to row with a training tri-suit. I remember we were allowed to train with a training tri-suit, but before that it was shorts and a shirt. And I used to always get my shorts caught in my runners. It was horrible. And they were white shorts as well. So I'd have black runner marks. It was horrific. So if I can give back tri-suits, and the fact that they're being auctioned off is really great. You can log on to www.jeppeboatsandblades.co.za, and you can just donate there. And please, just any donation will go a long way. Thank you very much for all of the donations already.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. I think it's awesome what you've done, and the fact that you changed to us today as well shows that you're committed to supporting Jeppe Rowing going forward. From your time at Jeppe Rowing, I know we've spoken a little bit about that already. You've obviously got lots of fond memories. I've heard a few of the funny stories over the years from some of our classmates, but do any stick out? Do any memories stick out for you?
I think the first time I went on tour to Buffalo, I think was really exciting, because I felt the sense of achievement that I'm actually leaving my home for my sport. And even obviously I've traveled the world now, but for me, that was the start of my career I was like, I am almost professional now, because I'm leaving home for my sport. And I'd never, ever thought about that. And I thought that was really amazing. Buffalo Regatta was a big highlight for me. My first year I went in the second 8, and we won Buffalo as the second 8. So that's obviously a big achievement for the second 8, because that's your SA champs. So that was amazing. And then I think the biggest thing as well is the war cry. Just the fact that you are able to do a war cry with your mates. I'm sure, Brendan, you'll agree with me, or Mr. Getton, sorry, you'll agree with me, that you will never have that sense of screaming your lungs out and passion for anything other than probably screaming for the box. But it's just, you'll never have that again. And I think the fact that I could do that at Warcry, at Rode Plata during the regattas was amazing.
Awesome, Pete. And you obviously haven't been a teacher before, because I scream my lungs out on a daily basis. But you're right. It's an amazing feeling, and I'm lucky enough to get to see the boys still do it. They're as proud and passionate as ever. Jeppe's done really well over the last few years, Jeppe rowing, as you know. I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff come through. In spite of the fact that our first eight don't really have their own boats anymore, they've done really well. The club's done well. The boys do well. I think you'd be really proud of some of the performances. Do you have a message for some of our current boys, and possibly some of the boys, the future boys, and some of the guys who are proud old boys? Do you have a message for them?
Yeah, definitely. For the current boys, I would say just don't lose hope, but just train hard. When you are there at BLC, when you're at Rode Plata, train hard and challenge yourselves to push and see what your capabilities are. I remember being at Jeppe, and I remember being at I was training at the tanks, and I remember saying, you know what, I'm going to try and hold the split. And no one else in my first eight had done that. And I hurt so much, but I did it. And everyone's like, whoa, how'd you do that? And I was like, well, I just challenged myself for the first time ever in my sporting career. And I just moved on from there. And then I would say for the new boys, enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of it. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to challenge what you want to do, because you guys are capable of anything you want to take your mind to it. And then to the older boys, I would just say, reach out to people. You know, like obviously with the virus at the moment, these are really troubling times, and we are very lucky that we are as connected as we are. But like a massive thing that I've learned over the past 4 years is mental health in sports is a massive, massive problem. And men especially don't talk about it enough. And I want to say now within this platform, like, don't be afraid if you are having a bad day. That's okay. You can have a bad day. I have bad days. I sometimes don't want to do my sports. I sometimes don't want to wake up and train. And that's okay. You've got to get through it. So I think just everyone needs to be able to just reach out and be more helpful to one another.
Just in closing, before I say cheers, I mean, I remember you in school. Did you ever think young Peter honestly thought that he was going to make a life out of rowing the way you've made a life out of rowing? If you had to go back to that little guy, did you believe in yourself as much as you do now?
I remember sitting with, these are my matriculants, Tyler Piper and Jared Thompson and myself, and we said one day those two would be wearing the Springbok blazer and I'd be wearing the South African rowing blazer. And we promised ourselves we would go for it. And I remember thinking, yeah, these guys are a lot closer than I am. They're going to get there a lot lot quicker than I will. But I just worked hard. I'm not going to lie, it takes a lot, but it is so worth it. You are capable of anything if you put your mind to it and work hard.
Yeah, Peter, I think you're a great example of someone who stuck to it and went hard at it, and you deserve all the success that has come your way. Just from my side, on behalf of the school, thank you for your support. And on behalf of all the guys and girls at Boats and Blades who are working so hard to put Jeppe rowing back in its deserved place and to keep raising money, I just want to say thank you for your time, and I hope the lockdown continues to go well for you.
Oh, thank you very much. And it's been an absolute pleasure, guys.